Hey Liz.
Hey, how are you tonight?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Here's Neo, here's Barbara. Who was the other person from 480, Liz?
Alyssa.
Oh, Alyssa. Okay. I don't see her on here yet.
Yeah, I don't see her either.
Hi,
Hey,
Neo. We missed you at the briefing. And Ruby, nice to see you.
Oh,
Neo, can you tell me again how to say your last name?
Arboleda.
R
Bolita.
O E. Yeah.
Yeah.
that's
Uh,
kind of an amazing name, to be totally honest.
it is
It,
amazing.
in Spanish, you would say Arboleda.
Oh, I
It's
don't
a
know.
Colombian last name.
I'm more interested.
Bolera.
I'm more
That's a beautiful
interested in
name.
your first name. Your first name is amazing.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Dorothy, are you working? Are you on set?
I am.
I thought so.
It
How are
is.
you doing? Or do you have an overnight? Or are you going to be out this evening at some point?
Our call time was 9 o'clock, so I anticipate that we'll probably be done by 7 or 8. We have an extremely efficient director, and I haven't been on a show like this in a long time.
Oh,
So
congratulations.
Yeah.
Good.
yeah,
That makes a difference, doesn't it?
it does.
Oh, good. I'm happy for you. That's only a 11-hour day.
Short day, short day.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Do you all know Barbara Kerford? She is our contractor in our office, so she's joining us tonight. She won't be speaking, but she will be kind of filling in the holes if someone is asking a question and they want the 480 website. Liz, Barbara will be the one to kind of plug that into the chat and
Okay.
then also do the follow-up email.
Yep.
Once we're done, she'll probably do that tomorrow. So,
Okay. Great.
um, yeah, did you have any questions, Liz? In terms of like what we can do to help you through this?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Um, I don't have any programs to really talk about, which I had like bet mentioned to you guys before. So I'm just gonna, mention, our local, what positions we covered and what regions we cover, and that's pretty much it.
And
Perfect.
yeah.
Yeah, and I think you know who you represent, right? Who you represent,
Mhm.
and then just like any links to pathways, and she can put that into our thing. But yeah, I mean yours is a little more complicated.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
and
is,
the
yeah.
and the pathways we don't, at least right now, I think there's only, I forget the word. I think it's like CAD or fat something with New Mexico that they have going on. And I just became a rep of for New Mexico a few months ago, so I don't really know any pathways specifically for New Mexico, but I know there's some in Los Angeles that we do. Um,
Do we
um,
go with the background, Rochelle? Are there some people who have camera background who've done camera
Sorry,
work?
what was the question, Liz?
Are veterans do you know anything about their background? Do any of them have camera background work or anything like that?
No, and they may not. From the first one that we had last week, I think that there was maybe one or two who had done PA training. So I think a lot of them are very green. So the information I think we give them can be very elementary, beginner level. I don't think we have to dive too much into it. It's really just an introductory kind of like, hey,
Right.
these are the unions, this is what we do. And so basic, I think, in general and introductory is going to be perfect for tonight. And we only have four people logged on. And I let in Josh. Hi,
Yeah, I
Josh.
hadn't planned on being a host or anything. I was just going to watch.
You're gonna watch? Okay, well, you were union, so I thought I would let you in.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
You get the fast pass.
exactly. But I am gonna record this. Steve asked that I record this, and we may post it to a YouTube channel or our website just so that everyone knows. So
So Rochelle's assistant, is that Tilly Norwood?
yes, it is. Yes, it's just gonna help take minutes if we need it. I don't know if we need this. Let me actually take it out. Do you think any reason you think I should keep it, Barbara?
Not that I can think of.
Okay, let me remove it because that is kind of,
is that like an AI thing?
it is. Yeah.
Just makes you look fancy, Rochelle. Your assistant.
Oh, yes.
I think your assistant needs a name. What we'll all come up with.
Oh, I needed Shemin. She's the only one we're missing.
Oh, she's not going to be here. She sent an email. Her husband's office got broken into. And so,
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
she
thank you.
just sent it to everyone. But she did send over like a 6-page document that covers all of DGA stuff. So
Okay,
I feel like they're going to still get great information in the email follow-up.
okay, great. Liz, did you want me to mention that? Because I was gonna just do a quick welcome and hi from the New Mexico Film Office and then hand it over to you.
Yep, that sounds fine.
And then I can also mention that DJ is not on here. So,
And I'm not seeing Alyssa. I think we can just go ahead and start with
yeah.
she
Okay,
can
let's do it. 6:01. I'm going to admit everyone. Thank you guys again. Really appreciate you all so much. Thank you. Here we
You're
go.
welcome.
Let's see. Okay, we've got everyone. I think one audio is connecting. Hi, Nicole. Good to see you again. Um, Great. I'm waiting for one more audio to connect before I get started. There we go. It just connected. And it was Larry. Good evening, everyone. I am Rochelle Bussey with the New Mexico Film Office. Thank you all so much for being here with us tonight. This is our second Zoom meeting. The first one we had was last Wednesday with a local UPM producer here in New Mexico, Sam Tischler, and myself talking about FCAP. If any of you are interested in that one, we do have it recorded and we can share it with you if you'd like. So just let us know. We are using the chat function today. So if you have any questions or would like to raise your hand to make a statement, go ahead and use the functions there. We've got a great group here, so I think we want to make it as interactive as possible. We do have a large panel, which is wonderful. So I will turn it over to Elizabeth Marshall. Is with the IATSE Local 480. She's going to be moderating today's panel, and I think we're going to go through some quick introductions. We've got an hour, so we will get started. Thank you all so much, and if you have any questions, please put it in the chat. Thanks, Liz. Handing it over to you.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for being here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go around, introduce ourselves, the union we're affiliated with, who we represent in the film industry. So you can kind of identify the different unions at work at play. And then if there's a specific pathway link, we are going to be putting it down in the chat so that you can have that handy. And I believe they're mailing it out again tomorrow morning as well in a resource sheet. So you'll have that two different ways. And I kind of would hope we'll kind of go through the introductions fairly quickly because I find that the Q&A is a little more interesting and learning a little bit about all of you here and what your specific needs are. So, I am Liz Marshall. I'm with Local 480. Local 480 is the Film Technicians Union. So that is the union representing all of our crew base that is what we call below the line. They are technicians. It is your payroll accountants. It is your makeup artists. It is your lighting guys, electricians, all the way across the board, craft service, etc. If you get on the website, it is IATSE, which is IATSE 480. And if you go there, you can see all the crafts we represent. There's also the pathways there on how to join. And we have a fast track for veterans, of course. So I encourage you to look at that. You'll also find my email there, emarshall@IATSE Local 480. And if you have any additional questions, you can reach out to me. So let's move over. I'm just going to follow through here in no particular preference, of course. But Mel, why don't you tell us a little bit about your union?
Sure. Okay. So, hi, I'm Mel McCarran. I'm with SAG-AFTRA. That's the Actors Union. Liz said that IATSE represents below the line. We represent above the line. And we represent unionized actors and do welcome in as well as we can pre-members, as we like to call them, people who haven't yet gotten their cards. And we'll talk a little bit more about the avenue to membership after a bit, I understand. But yeah, we do have a military personnel and family support committee, and we do reach out to veterans and try to make sure that there are opportunities for them also. Though the path to membership is a little bit more rigid, but it's available. And we occasionally do also some informational sessions for pre-members.
Great. Thank you, Mel. Appreciate it. And Dorothy is coming to us from a set as we speak. Hopefully, she'll get wrapped soon and get to go home. But why don't you tell us a little bit about your union?
Good evening. My name is Dorothy Estrada, and I've been a Teamster for 17 years. My union is Teamsters Local 399. I also serve as a shop steward, and I also did serve in the New Mexico Army National Guard for 6 years. I was a 71 Lima administration specialist. So go Army, beat Navy. No offense if you're a Navy. Um, so what a Teamster is a Teamster is a driver in film production, and we drive all the rolling stock. That's our jurisdiction on film production. So all the vans, buses, stake beds, forklifts, water trucks. Um, that's my division, and we're known as transportation. Um, so did you want me to go into the rest of what the requirements are, or
Um,
would you like to round back to that?
I think we should run back to it unless you have a specific reference on how to find the links to that information to join, or if there's anything specific for veterans.
We really don't have anything specifically for veterans, besides the fact that if you did come from a transportation background, if you served, or if you have served, and personally how I feel in the military, it's very similar. Film sets are very much modeled um, after the military. We have a chain of command, long hours. Um, you know, so we have a mission, and that mission's ultimately to make a movie. So that's how I see the bridge between um, being a Teamster and having a military background personally.
I love that insight. I think I've heard that actually from several members. So thank you, Dorothy.
You're
Um,
welcome.
Neo.
Hi, everyone. My name is Neo Arbolita, and I was a camera assistant, a second EC for 10 years before I became a rep. And we are International Cinematographers Guild, and we cover the cinematographers, we cover operators, we cover camera technicians, digital imaging technicians, film loaders, publicists, and we cover also TV commercials, live events, broadcasting, sports broadcasting. And we cover any kind of technicians that deal with any kind of special, remote heads or, those, have you ever seen a car armed with a camera? Those technicians, any kind of specialty that has certain special motion camera, we cover as well. And we have three regions. We have Western region, Central region, and Eastern region. And I'm based in Western region in Los Angeles, which is where the national local office is held at.
Western.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ruby, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you're up to?
Well, first and foremost, I'd like to thank you all for your service to our nation and your sacrifice. I am Ruby Garcia, President of Background Actors Association of New Mexico. We represent about 10,000 movie extras throughout the state of New Mexico on a lot of our Facebook social media sites. And I am a Blue Star mother. My son is a young Army veteran out of the 82nd Airborne Division. So thank you guys again. I am also a board officer on the New Mexico Fisher House on the VA grounds. And I understand how it is with you guys. I've been on the side with my son as a veteran. And when it comes to looking for a new career as a civilian in life, I have been there with him. So thank you guys again. And Background Actors Association of New Mexico, what we do is we train, educate, and mentor, also known as movie extras, in the film industry. So it's a great way to get your foot in the door to experience every single department in the film industry. Also, you guys have the skill that you learned from the military of discipline, teamwork, attention to detail, and reliability. And those are precisely the qualities that drive this multi-billion-dollar film industry. So welcome aboard. And I hope that you get into one of these types of careers and you enjoy it. But learn from one of us, ask us questions. We're here for you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ruby. It's actually is a very good way to learn is to do some background work, and be able to sit and watch and see the workflow and all of that. So thank you, appreciate it.
You're
Um,
welcome.
Rochelle, we have somebody in the room. We have Joshua in the room. I don't have him on my list. Is he going to be speaking this evening?
No, he's just participating. We've got Dorf right here for that union, so we're good.
Hi Joshua. Thanks for joining us. So, yeah, so that was kind of a quick rundown. I'm familiar with Nicole. How are you? It's
Doing
nice to
fine.
see you.
Nice to see you too.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to learning a little bit more about the rest of you. So we're just going to dive right into some Q&A. I'm sure you have a lot of different questions. Like I said, I am always there too after this meeting for you to email me and ask me additional questions, and I'm sure everybody else feels the same. But why don't we just open that up, and if you're able to raise your hand, if I can't see you, if you can do it on the react button down below, there's a little hand raise thing. So some of you, I'm not seeing your faces. So if you need to raise your hand, just let me know. Um, so let's kind of talk a little bit more. I'm not seeing any hands right now, but um, why don't we talk a little bit about what your interest you think might be and how one of us in this union might be able to assist you in achieving those kind of goals. I know I'm going to go ahead and just kind of start out with Nicole because I know Nicole a little bit. But what is your experience so far? And what have you kind of identified as maybe some areas of interest and how any of us here could help you this evening?
Hi, good evening. I'm Nicole Pockle. I'm in the 480 and 423. I did get in under Operation Soundstage, and I was delighted to find out that there was a pathway that we could do that. So really appreciated it. I have been able to be on productions, but of course I'm a pandemic post-pandemic entry, and I was talked into becoming a script supervisor, not understanding what that was, but um, I was fortunate enough to get training through the union, and then I also did an intensive online out of Canada with Danielle Sione.
Oh, cool.
And so I am interested in it, but I don't take it for granted. It is a department head position, and it's extremely important and vital. Do I feel like I can do the job? I do at this point feel like I can do the job, but I haven't really had the opportunity since the pandemic to be able to be on a set with some of the script supervisors who are very accomplished and are doing well and have a flow and have a reputation. I've been in that group. It's just we just haven't had jobs.
Yeah, there's hasn't been quite as much opportunity. And that's a department that isn't super diverse in the sense that there's not like huge teams. So you do have to have more productions as you enter that area.
Right.
And what Nicole brought up, I think, is really relevant in that when you do join the union, there is additional training that is available. It's not like you join and then work just kind of completely dropped off. What were the classes you've taken, Nicole?
Through the union, I had Sharon Reynolds Enrique's series, which I thought was really phenomenal. The only thing was you didn't really have a lot of hands-on.
Mm-hmm.
Very important to kind of get your flow down.
Yeah.
And one other class, and then I went ahead and took Danielle as a request. I took an online intensive, about 3 months worth with Danielle Ascioni online. In fact, I'm still linked to her. I can ask her and step in any moment and ask her questions, which is wonderful.
That
Uh,
is great. And you did have to take a couple of safety online classes as well.
yes, of course. Yeah, through the Training Trust Fund.
Right. So our union, we do have a training department. Half of it is safety oriented, which is huge, and the other half is craft oriented. So if you have interest in those areas, once you join the union and you're able to have access to some of those trainings. So you have that at your disposal. Is there any other unions that are doing particular trainings? I know there might not be ones that are like formal classes. I know Ruby is constantly doing training, but I don't know what that looks like for you, Ruby. Why don't you tell us a little bit about how you help people to integrate a little bit?
So basically what I do is myself and my board, we put on what's called Breaking into Background 101. My last class was at New Mexico Highlands in Las Vegas, New Mexico in September. I spent 6 hours there with about 20 background actors in Las Vegas, New Mexico. What I do is I take them from the beginning of check-in at base camp, is what we call as base camp when you first arrive, to set, to work, or an area where you're going to check in. So I take them throughout the whole day, every different department that they're going to experience as a movie extra, background actor. I just go over everything, etiquette, pros and cons, protocol, who do you contact if you have a problem while you're in holding, hair and makeup, wardrobe. It's a class designed to just give you an experience of what it's like for first day on set when you first show up to work. It's a great class. I've got very good comments on it. Our next class will be in the new year, heading to Las Cruces, New Mexico. I did have one here I believe it was October. I did have one in Albuquerque, but as a veteran, I'm happy to do one-on-one with you. I can give you my number, and if ever you do decide you want to put your foot in the door as a background actor, I will take you step by step. I will help you answer questions. I'm constantly bringing guests to our monthly meetings, whether it's IATSE, OSHA, New Mexico Workforce Department, CNM Film School. I am a film major right now in production. I started off as a background actor. I got into special features. Then I became president about 4 years ago of this organization. And now I will probably graduate with a degree in production in about a year. I have another year to go. But I'm open to all the veterans. I'm here for you. Any questions in the film industry or any department, I'm learning myself. I will become a IATSE 480 member soon.
Well, Ruby, I want to tell you too how much we appreciate that because, first of all, it makes background actors employable again to have those experiences. It also keeps everybody safe. And it actually just really helps the crew and helps to integrate everybody really well. So, we appreciate that work you're doing. I think, I know when crew is dealing with an experienced actor, it makes the whole process a lot more seamless.
It does. It does. And one last thing, the MacPack, that's a great, I believe IATSE, you guys, I went through it through CNM, but I took my OSHA 10. I took the firearm safety on set. I also took CPR first aid, and I learned how to use a mobile unit to drive those mobile units through the MacPack. And they are part of our film industry here in New Mexico as well. So that's a great step as well to get into if you want to get certified in all those areas.
Yeah, and also too, once you join the union, we have ways to reimburse you for those trainings. Basically, at this point in the game, safety is like 50% of your employability. So, there are lots of jobs where if you have not taken a mobile elevated work platform class for scissor lifts, etc., there's a lot of positions the productions will just not let you work on. So that's one kind of essential one. Fall protection, like Ruby said, OSHA. So those kinds of things, once you're in the union, you can get reimbursed for taking those. So safety is a big thing. We have CPR. I mean, any of that stuff that you want to put into your wheelhouse is going to make you more employable. Is there any other trainings that are going on within other unions that help to integrate newer members as they're coming in that I'm not aware of? Okay.
We as Teamsters, we certify you in forklift training and reach forklift training.
Oh,
That
that's
happens. Yeah,
yep,
we
that's
also have
work.
a trust fund, so too.
I always forget about forklift. I don't know why.
There's also for Local 600, it's very specific to the Western region members. That's the contract services, which is funded by the producers, and you have to get on the industry experience roster. And to work in LA and to work in any of the Western region states, you have to be on the roster in order to get on a show or be cleared. And it has like a bunch of classes on there that you'd have to take, which is forklift, harassment, PPE, a bunch of classes that you'd have to like keep to date. Like every 3 years, you get an email or a piece of mail like, hey, you have to redo this class and whatnot. So
Mm,
that's something that's very specific to the Western region members.
great. And I'm sure you've already covered that, you won't be able to work on a contracted film unless you are part of the union. So that's why it's kind of essential to have this conversation. But when you get on the IATSE website, it's very clear there is a pathway there for you to join, and it's not super complicated. So, that is something. Normally, it takes people 30 days of working on a contracted production. So, but if you need help working through that, we do have membership coordinators that are more than happy to help as well within the union. Um,
Let me just jump in for a second here, Liz, because again, SAG-AFTRA is sort of a different animal. And the union grows, and it grows by bringing in people who have trained and who have worked. And again, work with Ruby. This is great. In background, we represent union background, and we do have union coverage in small part in New Mexico, and I'm on the national background committee as well as chairing the local one. We did some years back now help to develop the Background Actors Bill of Rights, which the state worked with us on that, and that was for the non-union members to give them union-like protections because we were talking about safety earlier. That's very important. But we do have a filmmaker outreach and support group and we also seek out mutually beneficial partnerships to help our members grow, help them with projects. I encourage people who are aspiring to be in film, again, start off with background, but to do non-union work. The tricky thing about non-union work is it doesn't have the contracts we do and the contract protections that we do. Um, but you have to cut your teeth somewhere. You have to learn. And we certainly encourage taking classes, but again, this is one of those caveats. Be cautious. I was just on another panel on Monday, uh, a next gen panel, uh, trying to warn people what things to avoid as they look for an agent, as they get their training and what have you, because there are a lot of people out there who will take advantage of you. I think this is one of the beauties of an organization like Teamsters or IATSE, because you don't have to work with, lack of a better term, scam artists. So far as getting into the union is concerned, it's just a direct path. A speaking role gets you the opportunity to join, or three background vouchers on a covered project, a signatory project, which in New Mexico at the moment would be just Netflix. We keep trying to expand that, but contract negotiations can be tricky. Um, we also do have a military personnel and family support committee that coordinates with any SAG-AFTRA local, i.e. New Mexico, to help veteran-focused events and programs. So outreach on that, I think, would be important too.
Great. Thank you, Mel. And again, I think, the important thing is getting that experience and moving in that direction.
Student productions,
Yeah.
short form, there are a lot of ways to get there.
And if that is an area that you're interested in, New Mexico Film has really great listings at the film office for cast and crew opportunities to get some additional experience. I always say what makes you employable is that you have experience and education. So I would be looking for those opportunities. I'm looking across here. Vince, hi, how are you tonight? It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Hi, do you have a particular area of interest as you're moving forward? Are you just getting your feet wet? Tell me a little bit about you.
Okay, so I'm looking at grip electric and then very far over to UPM. Is most of my experience in the military is as a contracting officer. So I've got about 25 years experience dealing with contracts, purchasing things, services, goods, things like that. I have gone to NMSU. I got a degree in digital filmmaking last year, 2024.
Ooh, fun.
40 years after graduating high school.
Yeah.
But I have taken those Mac trainings as well. I
Yeah.
finished those four. I did some of the training with Stagecoach and Netflix with Mike Biz. And
Oh,
some other,
what? You were there. That was a great one, wasn't it?
that was really good. I was hoping to get on the other one, the DMX lighting, but didn't get in there. That's this time around.
Oh my God, Vince, you're all over the place. You're doing everything right.
I'm trying to. And when I first came to New Mexico back in 2005, I finished up the FTTP program, the Film Technician Training Program. And actually, Dan Williams and I were in the same class. Now he's teaching the class. So that was about 20 years ago.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, and so just so anybody here is interested, maybe I think the MAC that we've been talking about, the Media Arts Collective, will be in the spring be offering an intensive series on accounting. So just especially if you're thinking like production minded, kind of, and that is an area of need is the office, production office. So that is something, keep your eyes open for that as well. And we are right now, Netflix and I are right now planning our collaborations like the one you took, Vince, for 2026.
Okay, great.
Keep your eyes open. And it sounds like you're doing it all right.
I've got on some productions, some is in background, Space Between Us, and some other ones that were here local with
Nice.
in the summers. That one was on for a day. Just some of it's just a day here and a day there. So I'm trying to get longer. But like you said, getting on set is important. So that's why I went that. I get at least some hours on set. And then of course I have the training from NMSU, which was a lot of student films as through the thing as a director, as an AD, as a pretty much producer. Anything that they taught, I took the class and said, that sounds great.
Awesome. Sounds great. Yeah, if you ever need to talk more, just give me a call, okay, Vince? Okay. There's a couple other folks. There we had a gentleman, it says owner, which you probably know who that
That's
is, Michelle.
no, that's probably me. It's a new setup.
Oh, that's okay. No
It's
worries. I see it all the time on
yeah.
Zoom, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, I'm John Van Sickle.
Hey, how are you, John?
Good.
What?
So, okay, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, what any particular areas of interest or ways that we can help you?
Primarily I want to work as an armorer.
Oh,
Um, it started out, I first thing I worked on was Glory, then Last of the Mohicans. Then I went did a bunch of stuff for Ted Turner and then History Channel. And they were all firearm related. And then when 9/11 happened, I went back into the military.
mm-hmm.
So I retired in 2020, and I'm currently working for Otero County as a firearms instructor and range safety officer. So I'm kind of trying to get that back, combine all those things into one area that's definitely needed.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. We have a firearms class that we teach at the union too. But yeah, that is, something obviously too that is safety related and is kind of a huge thing and teaching opportunity as well.
Yeah,
Um,
and it's like in 2010, I was the officer in charge of safety for the entire country of Kuwait.
oh my. Yeah.
So for all coalition forces. So
Yes.
that's the lens I'm looking at things through.
Oh my gosh, we need you. Yeah. Folks like yourself in our industry are really invaluable to bring in that experience. Fantastic. Welcome. So, I do have somebody, it says Dave Rawson. I don't know if you're able to unmute right now. Some people I know are driving.
I'm here.
Okay, be careful, Dave.
Oh, I'm in a parking lot. I'm all good.
Okay. What are your areas of interest, Dave?
Well, I have a nonprofit I started in 2011 with my Navy veteran father, Roy Rosen, and it's called Vets on Set. I also have a production company called Absolute Media Labs, and we're mostly live streaming. And there's never a time we don't try to bring on one, two, three, four veterans for our shows. We managed to do last year. We did a Paris Hilton show that hasn't come out yet, which was at the Palladium, and we had four veterans on set there. We just did a project in partnership with the Marine Corps down at a studio in Orange County, and I had an Army veteran working on the project that was for the Marine Corps. Um, and it's really the need, and it's a big need, is when the veterans are getting, they're having the film schools seek them out to get their GI Bill. They go through the training, they get out of the training, and the problem is their housing stipend runs out right at the exact second they now have to start looking for a job. And we all know they're really suited to be a PA, right? They might have great learning and eventually will get there, but they're PAs. They could work at a rental shop. They're starting. And in the meantime, it's a struggle to find the job. They go to Indeed, they get frustrated. And so my job as the nonprofit, which we're really a specialty project under a 501c3 called Veteran Collaborative out of it's on the East Coast, and they're our 501c3. We're just a special project. But our goal ultimately is to bridge the gap, help them find housing. That's very important, is that we get them housed, because if they're not housed, they can't work. And I've lost too many of them that want to stay in LA. I talked to a girl that was at ILM for a while. She was living on her parents' couch back east. Talked to her yesterday, and all of her stuff's out here in LA. She's just trying to find work. So my job, or my passion, is to find her the work, to get her the network connections. I happen to be good at networking, so I use that as a tool to help improve their lives. And then always asking them to, do what I'm doing. Is, if I do my job right, you won't have to come back to me. In the meantime, look after each other and help grow what you're doing.
I think, that speaks to all of the unions here is looking out for each other. That is sort of, the main arc, I think, in our business and in particular in the unions. Have any of you participants worked with each other before?
I I don't think I have.
Okay. Everybody needs to be able to, if you're interested, I would suggest you meet one another. Like Dave, you might want to talk to some of these folks too outside of this at a certain
Can I
point.
share something with Dave?
Of course.
So you mentioned the young lady. Is she still in LA or is she planning to move to New Mexico?
Oh, well, right now she's in uh, Maryland, but her
Oh,
stuff
okay.
is in. She's in Maryland on a couch. Her stuff's in LA,
Okay.
and in fact, David Cordes is on the call. She got her second interview before we were done with her first interview. When I realized how much talent she had with Unreal
Okay.
Engine and doing set development, so I immediately introduced her because David runs an amazing post house
Okay.
out of LA and New Mexico and such. So I think she's up for opportunity. It's just right now, too many veterans that I know that have been working for years are working, as a bartender or an Uber driver, and when I'm trying to bridge that gap and help them find more opportunity. So she'd be
Well,
thrilled for any meeting.
if you don't mind, they'll post my email, but I also, as a Blue Star mom and a board member on the Fisher House here, I have resources for female veterans as well here in New Mexico. I'd be happy to talk to her if she ever needs anything here in New Mexico. I will be happy to give her resources and help her.
I would love to make that connection.
Okay.
I'm gonna kind of, and I don't mean to take the name, I apologize. I'm gonna introduce you to Michelle and Rachel. Michelle was in the Navy. They're married. Michelle's in the Navy for 25 years, Master Chief. She's a
Okay.
jib assistant. Rachel's her jib op, wife. But
Okay.
they're on a lot of my shows. I always, and then Rachel has a whole team of women, both veteran and non-veteran. Most of my cam ops are usually women because they come through Rachel and they're incredible.
Okay. I'd be happy to help them with whatever I can.
Would love to make the connection for you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any suggestion? I guess I'm wondering too, I know Nicole, has everybody joined a union? Or I know Nicole is. Are there people who also are members of any of these unions? Okay. Neil, what do you suggest? I mean, there sounds like, you know, you might have something to contribute to what Dave was talking about.
So to the pathway to get in Local 600, there's two pathways. You can get in 30 days, 30 union days within the year. And then the other pathway is 100 non-union days within 3 years, which is how I got in. And how I got those days were mostly non-union low budget features. And that's basically how you have to get in those, or if there are that pathway programs that I mentioned, but I don't know. I know there's one in New Mexico, but I know in Los Angeles, like WB has one. And I think there's like a CPR, Hollywood CPR that you can become an intern and you get on a show and you can work for like 30 days. And then if you're feeling good, then maybe you can join as a digital utility or whatever position you're shadowing. Usually it's either a digital utility or a film loader. The difference between the two is one's a roster position and one's not a roster positions. So it's getting on those non-union low budget features that can get you those 100 days. Or if you get on, two features that are 15 days each within the 1 year and they both flip, then you can join that way too. And it's not like an immediate join, like you have, you know, a certain amount of time that you can join before having to be, if you go on a next union job, you would have to join before getting on that union show. I hope that answers
Right.
that question.
Does that
And then,
mean
No,
that they
that
have to be non-union features, or could they be non-union commercials? Like,
For commercials, there's like the commercial, it's called a commercial contract. That's like specifically mostly for DPs and camera citizens who only do commercials. And so that's a different roster, but you could get like something that Dave was saying that he does his own shoots. It would have to be a question with contract services because usually it can't be web content. Like it has to be either a feature that someone's going to see, or it's going to be streaming somewhere, or it's going to be theatrical, and that's where you would get your days counted. And it can't be free days. Like you can't, have they don't use free labor to get in the union.
Oh,
So like when I got in, I think I got denied. I had like over 100 days, and I think there was like one movie that I was paid like $125 a day, and they're like, nope, that's too little. It doesn't count. So that's usually the pathway to get in, is getting those days in, keeping that record, and then talking to contract services. But it's different. Also depends where you're at, because if there's someone in Maryland, that's Eastern region, which there's no roster requirement. So they could, join a lot easier. But then if they're to come to work in LA, then that's that roster thing where they have that whole issue. So it's kind of complicated with the industry roster and not being on the roster. But I think live shows don't really count, but it has to be something that can be, narrated that someone's going to see to count for those days.
mhm.
Right.
Yes, Mel?
Yeah, Neil brought up an interesting point, which she mentioned that if you did 15 days on two non-union projects, but you flipped them. So flipping them, making them go, getting them to go union. And that's a good strategy for SAG-AFTRA also, because uh, if you hire onto a small non-union project and can get them to flip it and you're hired, then your speaking part in that can get you in. I also want to say, it costs money. To be an actor is not an inexpensive proposition. You have your headshots, your photographs. You have websites that you end up belonging to, Actors Access, most notably. The initiation fee in New Mexico is a little bit north of $1,100, and then there are base dues also. Um, and just because you've done one project doesn't mean you have to join. After you do a couple, and it's not expiring. After you've done two, then you're eligible. Well, you have eligibility after one, but on a third project, a union project, you'd need to join. Um, but I always tell people, if you're ready to join, that is, you have the chops for it and experience on set and all of this other kind of stuff. My encouragement is to join, in New Mexico at our rate, because prices go up over time. And so this is a little strategic thing for you. Right now in Los Angeles, or in the national markets, Los Angeles, New York, initiation fee is something north of $3,000. But maybe in 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 years, the initiation fee could be 4,000, 5,000. Whatever rate you joined at today, then if you aspire to be into the larger market, you're locked into the rate that that larger market had at the time you joined. So if you paid, 1,100 some odd dollars in New Mexico today, by way of example, and in 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, you decided that you wanted to spread your wings and fly elsewhere, you would be able to join at the price that they had today. So just something to keep in mind. But yeah, flipping jobs. And the union is making it really easy to and affordable for these projects to go union. So,
Mhm.
think about what Neo said. It applies to us too.
Yeah. And that's what one of your representatives within your union, they help to unionize those projects that come through. That's one of the things as a member that you are actually asking that representative to do for you.
We have a producer's portal. You can get the job signed in 5 minutes.
Yep. So, Henry, can you get to us so we can hear you?
Yes. Hi.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. My background is the stage.
Mhm.
I worked on Broadway for 15 years, managing Broadway theaters, working for producers, doing directing. I've run community theater for the last like 35 years. I just retired. I do have an agent, and I've been submitted for a couple of, roles here in New Mexico. My interest is primarily working on set, but I just am interested in all aspects just to learn, to see what might be interesting. But, I feel like there's another whole career for me, even though I'm retired and older. I just don't know quite where it is, but I'm very interested in finding a path in the movies. So I'm here listening.
What a cool, diverse group of talent we have tonight. That the skills of being on Broadway, that live production quality, that's like huge. We can use folks like yourself too. And Ruby, isn't he good?
Ransom Canyon is casting.
That's a good little character actor right there.
Come talk to me. Ransom Canyon is casting.
I know. I do a
Well,
little
let me know. I don't know how to pursue.
I'll help you if you want to go through as a background actor, just to get your foot in the door and meet people and explore. I mean, that's how I started.
Well, my agent has set me up for speaking roles in
Nice.
that. But
Yes.
Henry, just by way of saying, my first professional role, was for special services entertainment for the troops in Germany in Bye Bye Birdie, years back, decades back. I mean, someone mentioned 40 years earlier. Yeah, keep going, keep going. And I mean, stage is great work. Being on stage.
Yeah.
Well, when I was in the Army at Fort Dix, I was a lieutenant, but I established a theater there, and directed musicals for 2 years, even though I had another job, as part of my assignment. But I had people from Broadway working in my musicals there, and then some of the people that I kind of worked with that were privates and non-commissioned officers went on to Broadway careers. I'm thrilled at the number of people that I've worked with in community theater that are now on Broadway and that are working professionally. I mean, I've always been kind of the person that pushed them, but I figured in my retirement, maybe it's now time to push myself.
That's so awesome. I love that story. That's so cool.
Hey, Henry, this is Dave.
Yeah.
Do you know Victor Hurtado?
No, I don't. I'm sorry, sir.
Yeah, he was I know for about 16 years he was the creative director for the Army.
Well, I was only in the Army, active duty for 2 years, and then the reserves for 5. But and that was a long time ago. I'm 85 years old, so
wow,
at this point, extremely active for my age. That's why I don't want to stop, even though I finally retired. But I'm very anxious to find another, 15 years.
Never stop.
I want to stick Henry in a movie. That's what I want.
Yes. I want to see you in Ransom Canyon.
Yeah.
Well, let's do it. Okay.
Let's try it out.
You can see him with a cowboy hat, can't
Oh,
you?
yeah, I definitely can.
Actually, my agent made me take pictures in a cowboy hat. She said I should be a rich ranch owner. So I do have those.
Okay.
That's a good agent right there.
Yes.
So nice to meet you, Henry.
Thank
And
you.
Larry. Can you hear us? We'll see if Larry's available to pop on. And while we wait for Larry, let's go over to David, and we'll come back to you, Larry, in a second. David, thanks for joining us. Are you there?
David is here. He's actually a guest of the film office. We had invited him. Steve met him out at AFM, which, they were all just at in LA. Oh, there goes David.
Yeah.
Hey,
Larry.
sorry, I'm on my mobile, so it took me a second to unmute.
Hi, David. How are you?
Hi, great. As Rochelle started to introduce myself, and I'm associated with Dave Rosen as well. We're here as kind of guests to see, Dave mentioned the nonprofit that he's currently with and working with. I have a background, extensive background in production, especially post-production. I'm out of Los Angeles, but I also do have a business and a company that we established a couple years ago in New Mexico for Post called Rancho Post. We literally broke ground right when the strikes happened, so that kind of slowed our progress. But we're here, one, to meet everybody and kind of be a fly on the wall. But I think there's a lot of future engagement that we hope to have. Dave mentioned vets on sets. I have being in Los Angeles, I kind of see myself or want to position myself to be a bridge between Los Angeles and New Mexico. Run into a lot of problems, specifically in post-production, on how to get that work into New Mexico. Once a film, has decided they're going to be in New Mexico, they already have the line producer involved. That line producer and DP already have who they want to use for post, and we run into the issue where how do we bring new work to New Mexico? What happens in production, where people aren't greenlighting a film and then saying, let me go find a line producer or a producer out of New Mexico. Let me go find a director out of New Mexico. So I feel we need a conduit and kind of a bridge to get us there. And really anything that can bring relevance to the topic of amplifying work, no matter where it be within the pipeline, is going to help New Mexico grow. So that's in a short kind of why we're here. We, in talking with Steve at AFM last week, is that all that was ago? We, the veteran space definitely seemed to be something very relevant, and we'll take anything that we can to get traction to help build the film community in New Mexico.
Fantastic. Thanks, David. Thanks
Absolutely.
for the cause. We appreciate the support on the cause. So I wanted to just bring your attention to the chat really quickly. If you do click on your chat button on the right, there are the contacts that Barbara posted. Thank you, Barbara, for doing that. And those are really quick ways to get in touch with us. Of course, you can take your phone and take a picture of it or something of that nature if that's helpful, but that will also get mailed out to you tomorrow as well. So I think that's kind of wrapping us up for this evening. And I kind of say this to all of our classes that we have, even within the union. Whenever you have an opportunity to meet individuals in the union, regardless if it's Teamsters or just anybody within the industry working, it kind of is a job interview. It's like there is that networking opportunity. Like, I do a little bit of casting. I'm going to at some point be like, Henry probably would be pretty good, And so whatever that is, these are always kind of opportunities. Nicole has a great resume, for example. You have a good resume. I think that, and the reason why I have this because, we're all here within the industry. It's kind of a small community. If you're on a shoot, you will see one of us at a certain point in time. We're all working professionals as well as working for the union. So we are not just administrators, we have been in the trenches. And so you will run into us and so these kind of networking opportunities I think are pretty profound for everyone. So that's all I have to say tonight. Rochelle, is there
Thank
anything
you.
you wanted to cover
Amazing.
before we sign off?
My last thing to say is enlist in the film industry next. Enlist and submit if you could.
That's your new slogan, Rochelle.
I know. Let's do it,
That was
Ruby.
good. She's going to steal it from you, Ruby.
That's fine. We can share.
Yes, we'll share.
Rochelle and Liz, is there any way to get some of the information to get us networking with one another? There were a couple of veterans out there that are already kind of doing their own thing. And then, of course, the gentleman that's been in the industry for a long time and wants to get on film. I have contacts too that could probably help him out. So I'm just looking for more opportunity to network with people so that I can exercise my craft.
Absolutely. Yes, we can definitely do that and even maybe think about doing an event for networking vets working in New Mexico. So let me work on that. I know that, as the film office, we have an annual film conference which happens in September, and that's something that we are going to focus on for September 2026. So yeah, let us work on that, Nicole. That's a great suggestion. Thank you.
I'll
And Barbara,
also mention that in the follow-up email with everyone's contacts and all the links for everything tonight, there is a survey that asks, what else do you want us to do? And so if you could, if you fill that out, then it'll also get in the little list of to-dos.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And Barbara,
Mhm.
too, you may want to just ask like our participants if they're feel okay with sharing their own contacts with each other.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that way, some people might be wanting to share, some people are more private, and that's fine. But we might be able to get these guys connected to each other as well.
Definitely.
Group. Okay, thank you for joining us, and again, reach out if you need anything.
Thank you all
thank
for
you,
being
everyone.
here.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Everyone.
Thank you, guys. God bless.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Bye. Good night and happy Thanksgiving.
Thanks.
You too.
Bye.
Too.